Diane, I'm Michael Lassini with WreckCheck. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for coming by to tell us about your experience with your accident and our company. Tell us a little bit about what happened to you.
Well, my husband was going to work one morning and he was rear-ended and pushed into another car that went into another car. So it ended up being a 4-car wreck, and both the front end and back end of his car was damaged.
Tell me a little bit about what it was like dealing with the insurance company.
There were a number of insurance companies involved. The person who was found at fault's insurance company kind of took the lead. Anytime you're in a wreck like that, you end up being terribly inconvenienced.
Do you know anything about diminished value?
Well, at the time of the accident, we had no idea. We had been rear-ended. We got the car fixed. It seemed like a pretty minor incident, but when we went to sell the car a couple of years later, we found out that there was a record of that accident and it impacted the value of the car. The dealership wasn't willing to certify the car for us, even though it had been very minor. But there seemed to be nothing we could do to get things straightened out. And so by the time we sold the car, we lost thousands of dollars.
So you had an accident prior to this one?
We did, and we got hurt financially.
What did the insurance company say to you about diminished value? Was there any mention?
None at all.
None at all.
But we knew about it this time.
Yeah.
And so we waited until the car was fixed, and then they had an amount in their mind that they thought would cover it. And it's very easy to research and find out that they were at about 50% of what was really due us. So luckily, WreckCheck was able to get us the full value.
Could you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, it was a piece of cake. We didn't have to do anything. We turned it over to you. At that point, the insurance company wouldn't speak to us anymore because they knew we were represented. So we just sat back and waited for the check. What
would you tell other drivers about diminished value?
I'd say you have to be very savvy and careful, and you need somebody on your team because the insurance company is not going to give you that full diminished value. And if you own that car or you're making payments on it, when it comes time that you don't want to drive that car anymore, you're going to get hurt financially. Well, it's helping consumers get that full value. You know, up until a company like WreckCheck was around, people were just walking away from these wrecks and finding out years later that they'd lost significant amounts of money. Never, not a penny.
Diane, was having representation a benefit to you?
Absolutely. Having representation made all the difference in the world. It was a piece of cake.
Do you have any other advice in closing for people that might have an accident and how they might be able to deal with the insurance company in a more efficient manner?
Well, call WreckCheck. I mean, they took care of all of it, and I feel like we are whole, even though we had a wreck that wasn't our fault.